The Coach's Preview Show. I'm your host, Darrin Joins, Williamson County Schools Athletic Director. I'm very pleased to have today's guest and appreciate these guys taking time out of their busy schedule. We've got the Battle of Franklin tonight. Centennial High School visits Franklin High School. Coach Matt Kriesky of Centennial, Coach Donnie Webb of Franklin, our guest today. Gentlemen, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
The Battle of Franklin is always special, regardless of sport, regardless of records. But the past, I guess it's 3 years now, it's been extra special because even though the season's not over, let's face it, tonight's winner is probably a lock to make the playoffs. Again, anything can happen. And tonight's loser probably is out of that picture. Again, anything can happen. We still have games to play, but that's the way it probably will go. Coach Webb, let me ask you, does that add tonight's game in terms of how special it is, or you not even want me mentioning playoff implications?
Well, obviously you don't have to answer or don't have to ask that, excuse me, because all the kids know it. And you know, you're coming from us, you know, we don't have a region win. So, you know, that's the main thing we're talking about is we need to win a game in the region. We do talk about winning a Williamson County game, and we have done that. But, you know, obviously it was Summit and they're not in our region because normally everyone knows our region for the most part. It's Williamson County schools along with Dickson County. So that's why we're always talking about win the Williamson County games. Those are the ones you got to show up and compete first. But we just need a win, number one, because our kids are just like everyone else. They're being resilient through all this, and you almost are afraid you don't know when you come in off the practice field, you know, what you're going to get next of who you might have to talk to or I've constantly been making not jokes, but comments with the coaches. I'm going to start taking a special teams chart out on Friday because it's changing constantly with, you know, with players, you know, having to change here and there. But the good thing is we're still playing football and we get a chance to play in a great game here tonight.
Coach Kriesky, no game day this year because of obviously our COVID-19 guidelines. I just don't feel comfortable putting kids in that situation at this point. We'll miss you guys on stage because I can tell you this. When it comes to coaches getting on stage, we got Coach Webb breaking tables, Coach Kriesky, and Coach Webb too. You're not afraid to call out the other team's fans. I'm sorry we can't be there tonight. How about you?
Yeah, I hated that your table's not going to get broken for the game when Coach is all upset and mad. Maybe we can say that for next year whenever hopefully they're back over here next year and he can break that table then.
Well, I've ordered a new one, so I've requested that the entire thing be steel. So we'll see how Coach Webb does when he hits the stage next time we're there. Hey, let's talk a little game history. This dates back to 1997. Obviously, Centennial split from Franklin High School. Franklin won the first 15 meetings, but since 2012, this series is tied 4-4. Franklin with a big win last year, 42-41, and really what I thought was one of the most exciting games that I actually got to witness last year. It was the second win in a row for Franklin, and it meant the playoffs once again. Coach Kriesky, 2-2 in this series. Coach Webb, 4-4 in this series. So, Coach Kriesky, a lot of similarities, and it's really no wonder. And by the way, I always like to mention this. You guys also have some history together.
Yes, I won't say how many tables he broke in the locker room when I played for him, but yeah, it's been you know, last year, unfortunately, a punting situation, he got me a little upset and got me going, but you know, hopefully I've grown and matured from that situation and be able to handle myself better tonight. It's fun and you know, it's always fun, especially, you know, coaching against him. Got a lot of memories with him. You know, like I've always said the past couple of years, he's a huge mentor to myself and my brother. I feel bad at times, especially this week, whenever I want to ask him questions, bothering him. But I know he's not too worried about us over here on this side of town. But it's fun. Both groups, both teams get up and get excited for it. It doesn't matter. I was telling people in the hallway, it doesn't matter about what the records are. One of us could be 5-0, the other one could be 0-5. That doesn't matter, man. Both schools, no matter the size, skill level, both schools get up for this game, and that's what's fun about it. Monday, GoFan, our tickets were sold out within 30 minutes. What we had, and I'll be honest with you, coming in, that would happen, and that says a lot about both these communities. They want to see this game. They're fortunate they get to be in the stands and watch it this year. So I know both communities are really excited about tonight.
Very well said. And Coach Webb, the thing that always surprised me about this game, and I didn't really know this till I was standing with her on the sidelines last year, your own wife openly roots against you, Coach Webb, in this game.
Because of the COVID rules and things, she was a little bit late trying to get my daughters back home after the game last week. And I said, I'm sure you'll be there next week. And said at me, but it is her heart does go that way. And it's kind of for me personally, talk about this game. I remember when I first got here, I'm talking about as an assistant coach way back in 2004. Most people, if you really did the history, we should have lost that ball game in 2004 all the way back. And we picked up a fumble. A defensive lineman picked up a fumble and went 75 yards when they were basically trying to run the clock out on us. From there, obviously the 15, I think it was 15. Did it go to 17? However many games it went to, it should have been eclipsed right off the bat, but something happened there. But it changed the way the game was, though. When she moved over there, it was a very ugly game. It was as an assistant, I'm talking about between the two schools, it got pretty ugly during the week throughout the community. And then when she went over there, and then of course Matt got hired, I thought some things balanced back out, and it's turned into what truly these Williamson County games. I know there's not a single coach in this county that once we're playing somebody in this county, it's nothing but respect, and our players are that way as well. Now, granted, just like Matt said, it wouldn't matter if we were both 0-5 right now or 0-6 right now. This game would be it's the Super Bowl for this week. That's for sure.
Well, Coach Webb, I appreciate you saying that, and it is true. I've noticed in the Franklin Centennial game, obviously it's the game that the kids probably want to win more than any other game. But because of your relationship, I would say it's true that it's done the right way. I mean, sometimes these rivalries can get a little out of hand. It can go a little bit too far. But I have personally witnessed, and again, it's a credit to you guys, is that it's been pretty solid in terms of behavior, especially out on the field. Coach Kriesky, let me ask you this. Let's talk a little bit about region expectations. We talked earlier in the year, and you've got such a young team. And I know that's really been the theme the past couple of years for your team, but it's just true. When you see guys like Kofi Boggs, it's great. He was in a game the other day, had an interception, but then you look beside his name and you say, oh, freshman. And he's playing in 6A football, which is obviously very tough. One of the things you and I talked about early was you want to get some experience for your kids, but to be in game 7 of the year, and now you've got a chance to make the playoffs winning this game, that's almost got to seem like a plus for you and your team, and it has to be exciting.
Yeah, you mentioned Kofi. You hate pulling those kids up, especially freshmen, because you want to see your freshman team be successful. But this year, just the way things fell, I'll be honest, he made a tackle against Shelbyville last week. Probably one of the best tackles I've seen a secondary kid make since I've been here. He's going to be special, and you want to see these kids have success, and, it's usually judged on wins and losses. But the past 3 weeks, I've seen this team grow and mature and actually, study the game and be more focused. The past 3 games, I know we didn't come on top last Friday night, but, you know, our youth and our size was shoveled that they wore us down. You know, that's something that we're going to get better at, and especially as a coaching staff, get the other guys ready in those type of situations. You know, and hopefully that we'll be able to play better than we did last Friday night defensively. Offensively, you know, with Brendan Jones, our young quarterback, you're seeing him grow and mature, I think, against Dixon. You know, I know we didn't play all well offensively, but what I liked, you know, after they tied it up, he drove us back down and scored that winning touchdown. And then last week, I thought he had one of his better games. You can see him during the week in practice. I mean, because it's tough going from, you know, middle school to freshman ball and pretty much being able to do your own thing. And now he's having to study the game and learn it. And you've seen it from the first 3 games until the last three games, you know, his growth and maturity. So we're excited. You know, we're glad we haven't had any situations where we haven't got to play, because that's been really important for us this year. And I know everyone is just being able to play and being out there. And that's what, you know, good thing about tonight is, you know, being able to play this game, getting both kids out there. You know, at the end of the day, you know I came here Saturday morning all mad and upset last week. We had the kids in here recovery and they're in here, you know, laughing and joking around, and here I'm mad and pouting. But at the end of the day, we got to look at it. And these kids are having fun. They're enjoying playing. And I think us as coaches, I know I do, I think it's bigger than what it really is. You know, it's not about these wins and losses. It's about helping these kids develop into great and outstanding young men.
That's very well said, Coach. And you look around, you can always look places where when you think it's bad for you, you take a look at Metro and some of the things they've been through. I'm really pleased that we've been able to progress. Coach Webb, Ravenwood and Brentwood, speaking of region expectations, have kind of been the teams the past couple of years. And obviously they're right there again this year, but maybe more than the past couple of years, it feels like, to me at least, that we get a 3 or a 4 seed in the playoffs that matches up with the 1 or 2, that it's not going to be a gimme for whoever finishes 1 and 2. Would you agree with that? It feels like a little bit more parity this year as compared to the past couple.
Yes, sir. I mean, I look back to last year, you know, take Centennial, for example. They were our 5 last year, and I don't want to say it wrong, but I think they beat the other regions 2 by 14 points. I think it was 14. I know it was a couple touchdowns. And so I say all that is that's why we always talk about these Williamson County games, because I do take all the records aside. I do believe that there's always, coming out of this region, there's a chance that 5 teams we can go play and compete and have a chance. Some of us are right there. We're still trying to catch up. I agree with you with, you know, the Brentwood and Ravenwood. They got 2 fine, you know, football teams, and they're obviously showing so right now. But we're all right there. It's just making that step and making the plays. And that's what's been the biggest difference for us. That's what's been kind of frustrating for me as a coach, that our last 2 games, 2 very good football teams, but, you know, we want to make some mistakes, whether it starts with me right there, you know, maybe not having us ready right at the beginning, but to get down 14-0 right off the bat and then have to battle through the football game to get us back into an opportunity to compete in that game. Is we got to start a whole lot quicker and a lot better, especially on the defensive side.
Coach Webb, last week you played Pope John Paul II, a really good team. You were scheduled to play McGavock, and you had to make a schedule change. And I'll ask you the same question, Coach Kriesky. Any more schedule changes that you've already had to make, or right now does it look like, hey, we're lined up to play who was on the schedule initially?
Right now it looks, you know, who knows what happens tomorrow, the next day, but right now, like it is.
How about you, Coach Kriesky? The schedule still the same at this point?
Yes, sir. We've been very fortunate this year. You know, we haven't had any changes, and as of right now, we don't have any changes moving forward unless, like you said, something happens tomorrow.
Let's talk a little bit about your games last week. We'll start with Centennial. Shelbyville 44, Centennial 28. really a good close game there early, and then your team fought back there at the end as well. Big 21-point third quarter for Shelbyville. Beat you on the ground 449-102. Cannon Plowman. He's the guy that Tate and I talk about each week. Last week, 4 completions, 64 yards at quarterback, 34 yards rushing, 2 receptions for 67 yards. He averages 21 yards on 4 kickoff returns. Cannon Plowman is almost like a throwback from years ago. It's really impressive to see what he's doing for you. If you've got a team out on the field or a unit on the field, Plowman's probably somewhere around.
Yeah, and if I would let him, he would be starting on the defensive side of the ball, but him a little break. As you see, he goes back from quarterback to receiver, returns kicks for us. He hurt his hip early on. It was Ravenwood week, so I have never done this before. He went out in helmet for 3 weeks, and that killed him. He was more mad at me every day. He's finally just now going to practice full gear. And you talk about there's not many kids that get mad at their coach for only putting them in a helmet and letting them practice, and other guys are in full gear. That tells you what type of kid he is, man. He's hard worker. Like you said, he reminds me of one of those old school kids that wants to do anything and everything. If we had 11 of him, we'd be just fine. You could, by his size, you wouldn't think he was that small, man. As big of his heart and work ethic he has. We're very fortunate he's on our side. And, when you got him and Josh Forsey together, I know they're both undersized, but 2 of the hardest workers I've had since I've been here at Centennial. And what I love watching about those 2 guys is they not only want to win the game, they want to win every play. So when we get a team full of those guys, everything's going to be fine. And there's both. So we're fortunate we'll be able to have them back again next year.
Let's talk a little bit about Franklin's game last week. Franklin 21, Pope John Paul 28. Like you said, Coach, they jump out on you 14-0 early. But then what I thought was impressive is how your defense, kind of the bend, don't break. You stiffened up, got a couple of big goal line stands, and really you were playing catch up all night. But that defense, I think, really gave you guys a chance as the game progressed.
Yes, especially in the end of the second quarter and then going into the third quarter after the halftime, I thought we played really, really well. I thought our linebackers, especially up front in the front 7, was really getting after. They were making themselves hard to block. We challenged them a little bit at the halftime. And basically told them they're not doing anything that we haven't worked on. It's once again, like I said, about giving up the big play. That's what we've got to really, really do a better job of. And then, and this is what we've tried to stress all this week. It's sometimes when things go bad, you as a player or me as a player think that I've got to do someone else's job. And then guess what? Along the way, now I'm not doing my job. And so you make the defense worse than just staying to go everything. When something goes bad, go back to day one, go to your first step and go back to the basics. And then the game will start coming back to you. And so that's one thing we've really tried to stress, especially on the back end of our defense, is just take care of yourself first within the defense, and then everything else will take care of itself. And then all of a sudden you'll realize that you've got 11 of you playing together instead of thinking I've got to go over and do something that I shouldn't have to do. Up front, Journey Keene and Clay Crowder, that's what, to me, they'll be the biggest part of the game tonight as well. In that third quarter, they just were making themselves unblockable. They were really, really playing well inside, and that's what we've got to continue to have for us to play good defense.
Coach Kriesky, offensively, let's talk about your team a little bit. We talked about, like Cannon Plowman, Josh Forsey, Brendan Jones. Those two names that keep popping up. What about some other guys who have really stepped up for you offensively that you've been pleased with?
We got some receivers. Camden Brock, he's another underclassman junior. He's now playing both sides of the ball at slot receiver and also corner. He's real undersized, but he plays with a huge heart. He's physical. So that's what, he's made some plays on both sides of the ball for us. Elijah Kerr, he's a senior receiver for us. He's also come up big. Unfortunately, due to everything going on, he wasn't able to play last week, but we got him back this week, and hopefully have a big game from him. He usually has one or two big catches. Then also at tailback, Devin Reed, he spills Josh Forsey every now and then. He's also a junior. He's come a long way. His younger brother is a freshman. If he wasn't our freshman quarterback right now, since I pulled up Kofi, I would have already pulled him up too. So they got some athletic genes in their family. So Devin started out a receiver for us. He's now one of the tailbacks, and he's come a long way past couple of weeks. Then up front wise, Connor Kimbrough, he's leading our guys. We got two sophomores starting that are starting to figure it out. Again, hate to use the word undersized, 'cause I've used it a million times, but they're physical. They know what to do. They know the game of football. They know what to do, and you can see their growth the past couple of weeks. And so they're going to give us everything they got. And at the end of the day, again, I'm proud of our guys and what they've done so far. It's going to be tough tonight. I know it is. They don't. Kids don't think it, but it's going to be a tough game for us. Hopefully, we'll be able to execute offensively some like we did last week. And defensively, just like Coach Webb said, defensively, we had in the third and fourth quarter, we had a player who was on the field for us every play, and he did the same thing Coach Webb's guys were doing. He thought he had to make every play, so he was taking the wrong step here or there, and it was messing up the whole defense. So we've done the same thing as them. We're trying to correct those mistakes too defensively. I coach the safeties and our guys, our angles, and we're not well on Friday night. So I've honed in, and we've really worked on that. So hopefully we'll not miss as many tackles and make it a ball game for Coach Webb, make it a little bit exciting for the communities.
Coach Webb, offensively, Connor Bevan, Carson Repass, certainly some guys that have stepped up for you. But a guy I did want to mention, really for a couple of reasons. Number one, he's a big fan of these shows that we do. So he loves getting a shout out, but he certainly deserves it. Taylor Spirito, big reception last week that cut the score to 25-21, a touchdown reception. Then you go for the onside kick. John Paul recovers. They run out the game. But when you think about it, and I know we talked about Plowman for Centennial, Taylor Spirito, isn't that what it's about? Guys like him at the high school level. He'll play whatever sport. He'll play whatever position. But it's got to be just such a joy to coach him.
Oh, without a doubt. We think he played 125 snaps against Riverdale. And then with some of the contact tracing, we had lost some people. So he ended up having to move to another position. We were actually trying to do some things last week, kind of made him mad in practice because we were trying to do some things to get him off the field on offense because he gets us lined up and everything on defense. And then we had another tracing incident, and all of a sudden he's back in. I'll take you all the way back to when he was a sophomore. We put him in. He was playing quarterback with the JV team, and so he ended up being a backup quarterback for us as well. It was he is a pleasure to coach. Not the most talented, but not a bad athlete either. He's a good high school football player. That's a great young man. And back to what Matt was talking about earlier is, that's what high school football was originally intended to be and be about. He's not going to get any stars and all that type stuff. But I'll tell you what, tonight he'll be on the field playing about probably pushing close to 120 snaps. All goes well for him. And it won't be nothing but full go as he's going.
Well, and like Plowman, you can put him with any unit that'll make that unit better. You can put him on any sports team. It'll make that team better. Just a joy, I know, for you guys to coach guys like that. Coach Kriesky on the defensive end, Cooper Allen, Joe Nelson had big games for your defense last week. Cooper, I believe, had 7 tackles, Joe Nelson 6. Cooper also forced a fumble that Tucker Tremaine ran back for a score. So those guys are doing a good job for you, too, on that defensive side.
Yeah, Cooper's a 2-year starter for us. One of our few seniors that we have starting. He's done well. He's getting, his reads and things that he does defensively. Like he helps us get lined up. He's kind of the quarterback of our defense. Him and Joe gets the secondary lined up for us. So, they both got to have big games. Joe's got to be able to fit in the run and hopefully not miss any tackles and also play the pass. They've done well. And also, a corner with Kofi and Camden Brock, they've for the past 2 games been playing in the secondary, helping us out. And I didn't want to put Kofi at corner early on, and it's probably, me being stubborn, but with a freshman, I didn't think it would work out, man. But he's done well for us at that. And what I like about him, man, the kid has a smile on his face no matter what. I can get on to him in practice. He's just sitting there smiling at me. He loves just running around. He loves being at practice. He's going to be special. And another one of our defensive linemen that I need to mention is Keegan Scruggs. He's number 62. He's a freshman. Right now he's going through some growing pains, but he's another one I think in a year or two is going to be a huge factor for us. His brother Jeremiah, number 57, is also what I like about it. Bringing Keegan up to the varsity has pushed Jeremiah. Jeremiah won't admit it, but it's made Jeremiah a better player for us this year. And seeing their family and competition daily has been fun. And then of course, knowing me, I've always pick at them, get them stirred up in practice, just to create some little energy and that little type of atmosphere. So, having all those guys, we'll lose Cooper next year, but all the other guys I mentioned we'll have back next year. So this is a huge learning experience for a lot of our guys this year. And our seniors have been great leading these guys, helping coaching them up. It's been fun this year. I know we haven't been able to get the wins that we wanted, but just seeing the guys out there working together as a team, coaching each other, they've been resilient through this whole process. And again, they just want to play some ball.
All right, gentlemen, as we finish up here, this can be offensively or defensively. Coach Webb, we'll start with you. Give me a key tonight for the Admirals to be successful hosting Centennial.
We have to have more explosive plays than them. We don't give up more than 3. If we give up 3, then we better have 6 because whoever has more of the 20 to 25 plus yard plays is going to be the winner at the end of the night. And, basically go with the old cliche, also the turnover game. But even more so from there, I think it's the kicking game. That's where, because of field position, we got to hold on to the ball and keep it away from them and score more points than they do.
Coach Kriesky, give me a key for tonight's game. I think defensively we'll have to play better than we did last week. We'll have to tackle. We'll have to have all 11 guys doing their job. We had an 18 play drive last week. We can't have that happen tonight. Also we got to get off the field on 3rd down. So if our defense plays well and play better, it'll give us an opportunity. Our goal is, coach staff, we just want to be in the game in the 4th quarter to give our kids a chance. We feel like if we're in the game in the 4th quarter, our kids our energy will be a little bit better and give us an opportunity to play well and give us a chance to win. Again, hopefully Coach Webb doesn't pull anything out of the hat and get me upset again and get me off the field. If it wasn't for Dr. Lee Webb, I don't know if I'd be here right now. She kind of took up for me and put the blame on him.
Gentlemen, I appreciate you being here. I know you're excited about tonight's game as you should be. Again, this year's installment of the Battle of Franklin Centennial visits Franklin High School tonight, our WCTV game of the week. Again, thanks guys for being here.
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us for the Coach's Preview Show. We'll see you next time.